Paranormal in Pennsylvania may discuss topics such as suicide, murder, and other potentially upsetting things. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, and welcome to Paranormal in Pennsylvania,
where we discuss history and haunts.
Today's story takes us over to Eastern PA to our first winery. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David.
Let's get into it. So, today we have some of our favorite pod friends, horror pod friends, another married couple with a podcast. We're a married couple plus bestie team over here. Horror Hour with the Hannas. Tell us a bit about your pod.
Well, I'm Hanna.
And I'm Matt Hanna.
And we have a podcast where we discuss some of our favorite and sometimes least favorite horror movies.
Yeah, so we have a focus really on, I think, thematic analysis of the horror movies and also analysis of the filmmaking elements that then elevate the thematic element of it. So really just try to look in to see what makes these movies successful, what they do, what these goal of these movies are, and how each component kind of plays into it. So our tagline recently was, we said we're trying to battle media literacy one episode at a time.
Woot woot. And
I love that.
Yeah. You can find our episodes on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or really anywhere podcasts are found. And you can find us on social media at Horror Hour with the Hannas on Instagram or TikTok.
I should also say we're not that serious. We sounded serious, but we got a little bit of a mix, right?
We use potty mouth. We insult each other.
We insult the viewers.
Yeah. We're thriving.
And if you guys like our pod, you're going to like theirs. They're hysterical. And they have changed my opinion on some movies. We definitely had a lot of discord on Barbarian. But listening to them break it down did change my opinion. So I would say go listen to it. I always think it's great to curate your week of podcasts. They drop on Wednesday. We drop on Thursday. Go listen to them. Get in the horror mood. Listen to us on Thursday. Slide into your weekend full of haunts. So definitely check them out. And fun fact, Hanna used to be our social media manager for PIP. So if you like our socials, you'll like their socials. So like she said, go follow them, TikTok, Instagram, etc. for all these spooky movie breakdowns and recommendations.
Heck yeah.
So getting into the haunt this week, it is Chaddsford Winery, and I actually didn't know that this place was haunted until Hanna texted me about it, which is cool. It's not far from where I grew up, so I've been there a lot. But Hanna, tell us about how you got to know that it was haunted.
Yeah, so every year they do a trick or treat event. They do it over a couple weekends leading up to Halloween. And so when you go to the event, they have a bunch of stations set out in their yard lawn area. And at each station, you'll try one of their wines and they'll pair it with a snack or treat that matches the flavors of the wine well. So one of them was like a mulled apple wine that they served with a caramel stroopwafel. That was great. Another one, there was I don't know what kind of red wine. This was several months ago, but there was a really good one of their really great red wines. I don't even like red wines, that was paired with a really good dark chocolate. So they do a really great job pairing. It was really fun. And while we were there, they'll kind of tell you a little bit about the history of the winery while they go to each station. And they mentioned that the staff thinks that the winery's haunted. And I was like, oh, shoot, I know who needs to know this. So I was like on site, double fisting wines, texting Sarah with my nose, hey, it's haunted. So yeah, it was a good time. Do you recommend?
It's funny because last time we were on, we went to a haunted bar. We looked at. So now we've gone haunted bar, haunted winery.
What does this say about us?
So now we got a haunted distillery is the obvious next step.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And I think what I said before was what's great about a haunted bar is if you don't have any experiences, you can still have a good beer. So same thing with the wine, right? Good wine.
And we've also gone with them to a haunted restaurant too. So we're just doing all of the yummy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually by the time this episode will air, Black Powder Tavern will be out already. So we're into food and drinking. And I think we should actually reach the summit of this journey by going to a champagnery in France. I think we
Oh
have
my
to.
gosh, yes.
All of
Trip
us.
to France.
Yeah, we got to get that
Yeah.
podcast money to pay for us to go to
I
France.
know you guys are going to France in a month, right? Or is it
Yeah.
is it 2
2
months?
2 months.
2 months. Okay. And we went to France in October. So I guess maybe we'll give it a year and then we'll all go back to France.
Yeah.
Couples trip, haunted champagne.
Yeah, give the pod some time to build up. I'm sure
Yeah,
we can visit a movie set or something while we're there for you guys.
it'll be
Yeah.
great. I'm so excited already.
So, the history of the winery is actually pretty obscure. I couldn't find a ton on it. So, the winery itself opened in 1982 and it produces 24,000 cases of wine annually, which is surprising to me because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's located in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and we do know with this that at least for the last 40 years it was this winery. And given the location in the Brandywine Valley, it's likely that it's seen a lot of significant history. Specifically, the Battle of Brandywine was likely fought partially through this land. On the campus, there's a house called the Barnes Brinton House, which dates back to 1714, and that's like directly in front of the winery. And it was originally operated as a tavern, and allegedly, British troops marched past the house through the land that the winery is now on and threatened the family that ran the tavern. And today it's a museum. So that's the history on the area. But Hannah, if I remember correctly, you said one of the staff has a different theory about the history.
One of the staff members said that it was a brothel at one point, and so they thought one of the hauntings was attributed to maybe like the mistress of the brothel. But then she talked a lot about hauntings that seemed to be attributed to children, so that didn't really connect to me. And when I looked it up, I also couldn't find anything about it being historically a brothel, so I'm not really sure
Mhm.
where that's coming from, but that's what she said. So
Yeah, I mean, who knows? With documentation of old buildings and stuff, it could really be anything. It does look like it's like a farmhouse or a barn now, but I think
yes.
that's probably for aesthetic purposes.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that they have
Yeah.
offices in that building, and that's like when staff is there working, they said that there's normally only like one or two people on site at a time, and that's when they tend to experience things. So it is kind of, it looks like a farmhouse, and then it just has, I guess, the office in there.
Okay, so getting into some of the haunts. So I took some of the stuff Hannah sent me and tried to expand on it. So Hannah, feel free, obviously, to add. So, like you said, many of the hauntings are related to children. Very interesting for a winery and this
hmm
area. And staff have reported hearing children running upstairs, it said, and they get like they hear the footsteps pounding, but they don't seem to be heavy footsteps, which makes them think that it's children. With that, they also report that they hear children laughing, kind of as a disembodied voice echoing throughout the buildings.
Children, ghosts are always spooky to me,
Yeah.
especially like disembodied laughing down the hallway kind of deal.
Yeah, but like a
I
children
know.
laughing, like a little giggle. I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate it.
that's terrifying because it's the child who may not know better and keeps messing with me until I die.
Yeah. Well, especially at a winery, like you're at work at a place where people drink, like a 21 plus establishment, hearing a small giggle. Ah!
Yeah. That's a good point. I wonder if kids are even allowed there. I think so. I don't know if
A
it's right.
lot of times they are. I know for the event we were at, it was a 21 plus, like they did not allow children on site. So, had we heard any laughing the day we were there, I definitely would have been like, ghost. But I don't know about on a normal day without the events.
Yeah, true. True. So you also said something interesting to me, Hannah, about a dream that some of the staff had regarding children. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, they mentioned that two different staff members had essentially the same dream about them being in the office and hearing, I guess, a child out the window and looking out the window and seeing a child playing on the lawn. And this was like outside of business hours. There should not be random children, again, playing at a winery outside by themselves. And I guess they were talking to another staff member about this dream, and they were like, oh, this kid had XYZ features. And they kind of deduced that they had a nearly identical dream about looking out the same window, seeing a child playing in the same place, and the child had very similar features in both dreams.
That freaks me out.
Yeah, I don't love that. Dream stuff is really creepy to me when people have the same dreams or really similar dreams. I don't know what to
Yeah.
do with that.
I feel like there's so much stuff you can explain away when it comes to hauntings, but like dreams, I don't know. That's weird. Two identical dreams is I've never heard of that before. And so I don't know. That's weird. Like if you and I woke up and we both had the same dream, like that would concern me a lot.
I feel like that has happened to us before.
Has it? Not like that.
Not
though.
like
Not about
that.
some
Not like
child we
that.
don't know.
Not like
and
some
we
identical
both
dream.
described the same person we've never seen before.
No, but we have woken up and had like a very similar dream and been like, whoa, but this just feels like some psychic stuff. So it's different
Yeah.
than both waking up and being like, I had a dream about a velociraptor. Oh, me too.
Yeah, well, while that's creepy, think of the bonds of friendship that can be formed through it. We have so much in common. You had the same dream that I had. Like meant to be. We should be friends.
I was gonna say maybe you guys have similar dreams because you've been together for like 10 years, but
Yeah, it has been a while, so I guess we're having the
I
same
have
chats
I
and
have crazy
interests.
dreams. I have very vivid dreams. I don't know about you.
I don't always remember mine, but when I remember them, they're like messed up or weird.
Mhm.
We both have Jurassic Park dreams, though. We'll tell you that.
I had a Jurassic Park dream
A lot of
right
Jurassic
after my
Park
wisdom
nightmares.
teeth surgery. But
Oh
anyway,
man.
We talked about that in one of our episodes.
Yeah. I think that is incredibly interesting because I always think it's scary, and we talked about this on your episode, when stuff follows you home. Like that really gets me. When I'm dreaming, it's like, it should be a safe space. I'm in bed at home, but to have this spirit still influencing you at that time is freaky. Even if it's a child spirit, even if it's harmless, I
Yeah.
don't care. It's still freaky to me.
I just can't stop thinking about the phrase, it followed me home. Can I keep it?
What is that from?
It's referenced in a video game, but I'm pretty sure there's, I don't know, it predated like from either some movie or TV show or even a book. But
If it's a horror movie, the Hannas
It's
will
like a
find
pet
it.
coming home.
I was gonna say
That's
it sounds like
the stray cat follows
it's
you.
yeah, it sounds like the cat distribution system where you just find a cat somewhere or it finds
becomes
you.
yours now.
And now it is yours.
Yeah, that is an ongoing issue in our life. We're gonna end up with 1,000 cats because they're so cute. So there's also a lot of generic hauntings here, and I love and hate generic hauntings. I think it's a sign of activity, but they can also be explained away by a lot of things. So one of them is that the lights go on and off on their own. That is one that I always take with a grain of salt. But what's interesting to me is it happens even in the newer buildings that they have, which you would think would not have faulty electric. You'd think it would be pretty solid. But I do always try to
Yeah.
be skeptical about it.
That's fun though. I like it happening in modern buildings. Like that's, I guess, uncommon unless like the electrician sucked, which could
Yeah.
be possible. But I mean, if everything is run a little bit different, like, do you really think that the main like electric grid or whatever I'm not an electrician, I'm a structural engineer, so if my language is poor, that's why. But I would, it would be weird for it all to be tied back to the same issue, is what I'm saying, and all the buildings would be having to go out at the same time. So that's a cool one.
Yeah. And I think tied to other things that makes it seem like, haunted. And a big thing there is that people also report as if they're being watched and followed on site, and this is visitors and staff alike. So Hannah, did any of the workers there tell you anything about that?
Yes, the woman who was giving our tour said that, especially when she is there again, I think most of the hauntings that she had experienced were associated with the building that's only accessible by staff where like the office is, but she says again, normally there's only one or two of them on site at a time, so like if that person is in the building or the same room as you. And she said that she'll feel like she's being followed. She'll turn around and there won't be anyone there. And or she'll like call the coworker and they'll be like, "No, I'm outside checking this," or like she had just left that person in the other room kind of thing.
Did she mention what type, like the feeling of the presence? Like, was it just like, hi, I'm here? Or was it like malevolent, playful?
I don't think she mentioned anything feeling particularly sinister. This was also 5 months ago, so I don't remember. Like, it wasn't memorable to me if she said it was anything good or bad. So I'm guessing that means it wasn't like an evil feeling presence because I feel like I don't remember that detail.
Yeah. And I'll say I was here one time for a bridal shower and I was there like early setting up for the event. And I did a few times think that I saw people walk by like through the windows, which would have been strange given that we were there for a private event. But I kind of just chalked it up to staff. But that paired with a feeling of I kept thinking that there was someone else in the room. And I don't know, it could have been anticipatory because I knew that people were going to be coming in. But I definitely did get a bit of that feeling and a bit of like seeing things through the windows when I was there.
Ooh, spooky.
Totally, me too, same.
You weren't there.
I know.
Okay. Don't discredit us on our own podcast,
See-
David.
I'm not
I'm
discrediting. I just wanted to feel involved.
I'm a pretty observant person, but I just feel like if
No,
you
you're
know, the
not.
feeling, no, come on, when we're in like public settings, I'm great at eavesdropping on random people.
All right, that's true.
I'm always like catching little bits of information, and that's what I like to do. I like to people watch. If I'm
I don't
being
know if I would
honest,
call that necessarily
Sure.
observe. You're
All right,
observant
bear
for
with
like
me.
the tea, but not for
Yes.
details that matter. Like
Well-
he drives and he'll run stop signs because he didn't see it
No,
apparently. So
I've never done that.
he's
in my
literally backed into a car because he didn't see it.
life.
It was like
All right.
in the mirror.
Again,
Anyway,
bear with
sorry.
me. My point was going to be that the idea of someone like watching you or the feeling of someone watching you, I feel like I'm too like overactive that I would just never notice that because I'm just like always on my way to somewhere, always like doing something, thinking about something else.
But if you think you're observant, then you should notice.
no,
that
I'm saying it's
feeling.
like a different. I think the feeling of being watched is different than like eavesdropping and people watching is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I just feel like even if I would just never notice.
That's interesting. It's like you would not pick up on a haunting like that. There's like
I don't
these
think I
entities
would.
following you.
I really don't think I would because I'm just like overactive, I guess. I was just saying I don't have ADHD. Maybe I do.
Yes,
We
you
haven't
do.
decided.
I think if the entities were talking shit, he would notice because he'd be like, "Oh my god, what is happening? Like,
when I'm
who did
hearing
what?"
like it's not even that. It's like when I'm hearing like other people say stuff or like that I think is like important information. Like, oh, Hannah, did you hear that? And I like really pay attention to those things. I have bad hearing up until that comes to that too.
When we
so.
go out to eat, we'll be silent because we're listening to the table next to
Mhm.
us. But
I love that though. But what if you were alone? Like, what if you had nothing else to focus
I
on?
put my AirPods in and listen to a podcast, so I wouldn't know.
yeah, but would you like think that you would feel
Oh, I
something
don't
like
know.
behind you or something? Like I feel that when someone comes up behind me or is like near me, I feel like I notice that. But I feel like
No,
you
yeah,
wouldn't.
I do when it's other people, I guess. I'm kind of always you always got to know where the exit is in a room. You always like are checking over your shoulder, but I don't know. Just I feel like it's something I'd be oblivious to.
Well, Matt
Yeah.
hasn't been there, so we'll
Sure.
never. Until we
Well, I'll
take him, we
try.
won't know.
Yeah, sounds like a road trip.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Hey, I'm gonna be in Philly soon in April. Let's go.
Heck
I don't know how far
yeah,
it is.
it's an hour, so it's kind of a pain. But
Okay, well,
what's
we can
near
pick
it?
some other haunted location in Philly. to do.
yes.
Is Six Flags haunted?
Oh my
let's
god,
go there.
Matt.
Well, I have to go since there's a drive-through safari like we
There
talked about in your
is.
guys' episode. It's
I'll get-
insane that those are real.
I didn't
I
get my
know.
season pass. My season pass got me into that last year, and I didn't go. So
Yeah, how dare you?
I should probably get it again. Figure that out.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
haunting.
another report that staff has that I saw a lot of places is knocking. And visitors will report knocking when they're using the bathrooms, so they are definitely alone. And then staff have also reported haunting or knocking, and this is a really common manifestation of the paranormal. And I can't think of anything else that would make this noise. Did they talk to you about that when you were there, Hannah?
Yes, they did. Um, my tour guide, and I wish I sent you her name because I would love to shout her out. And she used to work at a high school or was like a high school principal or something, and then retired, and then just works at the winery now for some funsies. So if you're listening, ma'am, you were great, loved you. Sorry, I don't remember your name, but she did mention that they like different staff members had reported hearing knocking when they were the only one on site, like legit the only person on site, so there would be no one else there to knock to them.
And what about you or anyone you were there with when you guys used the bathrooms? Did you hear knocking?
I didn't use the bathroom, and the only person in my group that used the bathroom was a little drunkie, so I wouldn't really trust her opinion if she did hear knocking.
That's fair.
Hannah likes to live her life dehydrated. So
Well, I had multiple glasses of wine. I just like 5 glasses of wine won't do it for me in any regard. So I was like stone cold sober, and then also just
on
didn't have to
5
pee.
glasses of wine, you were sober?
Well, they weren't full. They
Oh,
were
okay,
decent
okay.
pours, but they were decent pours,
So you
but
must
they
be a
weren't
tank.
full glasses of wine.
I didn't know this.
I am a tank anymore.
Yeah, I feel like you are a tank.
I used to be like the baby of the group, and now I'm that person who's like, I will finish your drink for you. I'm fine. We've gone out.
I don't know. I feel like you did well on your 21st birthday. Not that we need to go into it on this podcast.
Oh, I
but
did. I thrived.
Yeah.
I rally well, even if I'm not thriving. So, anyway.
David, were you going to say something about the haunting?
Or Hannah's 21st
The
birthday.
ghosts are very polite. They knock,
Oh,
you know, rather
know.
than like you're on the toilet and then instead of knocking, they just open the door.
Yeah, just kick the door down.
The McGillen's ghost tried to do that to me. They were shaking the door at me.
Yeah.
I prefer knocking. Like, hello,
Yeah,
are you done there?
She's so much more polite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I hate a bathroom haunting. I feel like bathrooms are such vulnerable places.
Yes.
I hate when it's like in the shower something happens, or like it just in the mirror. I feel like that's a trope in horror movies of like something appears in the mirror. Like I hate those so much. I hate a bathroom haunting.
Well, in McGillen's, I was like unbuttoning my pants, and then the door started shaking, and I was like, I cannot pee under these conditions. I cannot undress here. So that's when I had to go grab you. So I think if I'd heard knocking, I'd feel a little bit better about that though, because part of me might just assume it's like the next person in line. And even if I realized that wasn't the case, I'd be like, oh, thank you for waiting your turn, ghost. Versus like, let me in.
Yeah. Or just opening the door and
Yeah.
you're in the middle of your business now. You can't reach the door, and it's a mess for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one needs that.
No one needs that in their
Yeah,
life.
any of the ghosts ever like pop out of the walls and take
that. He was about to quote the "I think you should leave" sketch with the haunted house, and the language was about to be inappropriate for this podcast. So I'm glad I caught the reference when I did.
I couldn't help myself. I was thinking about them being in the bathroom, and I just was like coming through the walls,
Yeah, you can't say the rest of that joke. It's interesting, the ghosts.
It's interesting. Ghosts.
Yeah. So because this farmhouse winery area is right near the Battle of Brandywine, which was a gigantic battle. We've mentioned it at like 4 other places that are not super geographically close. Like they're like 40-minute drives from each other, but the Battle of Brandywine just spanned so many places. But because it touched this land, visitors report hearing horses, despite there being not really any farms nearby, and sometimes gunshots while at the winery.
Ooh. And what war was the Battle of Brandywine?
Revolutionary.
Okay, sweet.
Ooh, yes. There's the Revolutionary.
You only got like 4 to pick from, so.
Yeah. And I say this a lot with hauntings that have gunshots in this area of Pennsylvania, and I feel like I can say this because I grew up there, but there are so many guns. And like so much hunting. So I always take that with a grain of salt, but I do think it would be kind of weird to hear it in this area because it's kind of like
it's near a really busy road. Like there's a Wawa 3 minutes away. Like there are stuff nearby. It's not like isolated farmland where I
Right.
think I would hear hunting.
Hey, a black powder rifle sounds pretty different from another rifle, though. So we got to get some experts on the ground out there, boots on the ground, to tell us what kind of gunshot it was.
Yeah, but also I like Hannah's marker of civilization as a Wawa.
Wawa.
Yeah, there's a Wawa, a 3-minute drive. We're still in civilization.
See, I think Matt has identified a new job in the paranormal community that people might not be considering. You know, an
Yeah,
arms
Gun
expert.
expert. Yeah.
I've shot a black powder. They're crazy.
So you're the
Like
arms
they definitely sound
expert.
different. I'm not an arms expert by any means.
Look at us innovating.
Innovating,
Me
but I'm just
coming
saying,
up
like
with
a black powder
ways to
rifle is a
identify.
weird gun. Like I don't know I don't know how I got to shoot one, to be honest.
Was it Boy Scouts?
It was.
Yeah.
You got to like
There you
load that
go.
thing up. You got to put the black powder in. You got to like ramrod. That's the technical term. The ramrod.
Mhm.
Yes.
The musket ball down in there. It doesn't shoot straight at all.
Yeah.
That shit. It's literally a knuckleball, but it sounds weird. So.
Oh, so yeah, you shot like a true musket, not even like a early form rifle where like there was rifling in the barrel.
No rifling. Yeah, no, it was a true black powder rifle.
Yeah, but I
Or
would say
musket,
like
whatever it's called.
if you're not a gun aficionado,
Well, I'm
you
not.
wouldn't necessarily know I wouldn't know the difference. I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a black powder rifle, or that's just like a handgun.
But you've
like,
seen a movie. Come on.
I have seen a movie. I've seen many, in fact, given I have a movie podcast, but I wouldn't know the difference. So I don't know. I could hear a gun nearby and be like,
We'll
oh
look it
yes,
up.
it's haunting from the Battle
Erica,
of
can you
Brandywine.
throw
but
some like sounds of black powder rifle versus regular rifle over this?
Contrary to popular belief, Matt was in the Revolutionary War.
That's how he knows so much.
I'm actually a ghost.
You are a ghost. That's perfect. What a tie-in.
Wow. It's like The Sixth Sense.
Yep.
Spoiler.
It's dead the whole Oh, the spoiler. Yeah, come on.
So I wanted to do this with you guys. We didn't do it last time, but that's all the hauntings, the very brief history. I want you each to give me a 30-second movie pitch about this haunted location. And you
I
guys
got
can't
it.
see their faces, but they had no clue that I was going to do this. So who
I
wants
got
to
it.
go first?
Ooh, way
I
to
got
open that
mine.
door for reciprocation.
I know. We're going to get slammed with something next time we're on their podcast.
This is
Yeah,
so
you are.
this is so easy. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You ready,
Ready?
Matt?
Yes, I'm ready.
Ready, set, go.
All right, so it's definitely going to be a rom-com, right? And it's going to have to be like one of those like really like hallmarky rom-coms about a ghost that lives in the winery, right? And there's a winemaker, some old, not old, but single curmudgeon-y man, and it's a ghost woman, and he learns to love again while she learns to live again from her ghostly parts, and then they somehow have a ghost person relationship and have a half ghost person child. That's
Wow,
the
you
movie.
did it in 28 seconds.
Yep. That, and I started getting nervous with 10 seconds left, and that's where the procreation of ghost and human came from. But we might cut that part.
All right, Hannah, you ready?
No.
Did you like
You got
mine?
this.
I did like it. Okay. All right.
Okay, ready, set, go.
A woman works at a winery because she loves wine and she has been wanting a child, but she's single and she's not sure if she's ready to do the process by herself. But then she starts hearing, while she's working at this winery, she starts hearing the sounds of children giggling and playing. And she's like, that shouldn't be at a winery. And she meets a ghost boy and she decides to name him Benjamin and she adopts the ghost child.
Oh, that one's pretty good too.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty
I
good too.
I don't know where the
If
that
it's on a
came from.
winery, it can't be a horror movie. It immediately becomes a rom-com or a drama. So
Yeah, it's
that's
about
why I want mine. I like the ghost rom-com. I like someone dating a ghost.
it's about her process adopting Benjamin while continuing to enjoy wine.
I'm really thinking about like you have like some older gentleman that is just like super cranky. He's plowing the field. He can only say one word sentences. You know what I'm saying? Like he's mushing the grapes with
that
his
coming
feet.
from?
No, this is mine. I
Oh.
was just really, I'm expanding the universe.
I'm thinking still about mine. I
Oh,
think
okay.
there's like a scene where she's caring a lot about Benjamin, but she's not quite ready to adopt. She's not sure if she wants a ghost child yet. And then she hears the sounds of the gunshots and she gets really worried because she's like, oh my gosh, what happened to Benjamin? And she runs out and he's safe. And that's how she realized like the level of concern that she had for his ghostly well-being is what really made her want to cement him as part of her family. And it's kind of about then the end of the movie is just her really coping with the fact that he is in fact a ghost.
Whoa.
So how does that work? I don't know. Maybe that's a sequel.
I want Nick Cage to be the character in mine.
I want
You
Laura
guys,
Dern.
please, for me, it was just my birthday, as a Christmas present, please review Willy's Wonderland. You don't even need to post it on your
Willy's
pod,
Wonderland?
but just send it to me. It's a horror movie, kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's. Nick Cage is the main actor, and he says no words the whole time.
What do you mean it's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's? It basically is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Except it came out first.
Wait.
Well,
not before the game.
Not before the game. Yeah, but before the movie.
I heard
video game
about
was
this,
out
but for
far
some reason I
before.
thought.
No, I know, but movie-wise.
What is Mandy about then? I thought Mandy
No, that's
was
a different thing.
Oh my god!
And he's
I'm so confused.
he has another one coming out this year with Micah Monroe from It Follows called Long Legs.
I legitimately thought Mandy was his movie about the animatronics. I'm so confused.
No, that's older than this.
What the? I'm stupid.
But
I
yes,
love
Willy's
Nicolas
Wonderland,
Cage.
one of my favorites.
And Nick
All
Cage in
time.
horror movies is a trip.
Well, we love
I
Nick
love
Cage.
him so much. We're gonna have to do just a whole Nick Cage horror movies episode
this-
because there's so many.
If this brings you into our podcast, my coworker recently asked me, is Nick Cage good or not? I was like, no, he's not good. Like, he's great. Like, it's not a question of is he a good or a bad actor. He is unquestionably a great actor.
But there are moments
Incredible.
that will confuse you, and you won't know for sure. But it's because he's doing.
Have you guys ever
such
seen
a
the
great
College
job.
Humor skit where Nick Cage just signs on to anything?
Yes. Yes.
So the turnaround time for that movie, from him getting it to agreeing, was about like 16 hours.
Dude, it's because he like wastes money like it's his job.
Well, yeah, he was just signing on to anything, and he has said that basically in interviews that he wants to take it slow and maybe switch into like be more selective or maybe even do TV, which he felt like he hasn't had time to.
Have you heard about the T-Rex he bought?
Yeah, he had a T-Rex skull that he bought that was actually, and he didn't know
was
this when he
stolen.
bought it, but it was a stolen T-Rex skull. So then he had to return it,
But not get his money back.
Didn't get his money back, and then he had a bunch of properties that he was behind on property taxes for. So he really was just signing up for everything because he was like, I'm poor for a famous rich man.
So he can be in our Chaddsford Winery rom-com horror movie.
Yes.
He would
Yeah,
definitely sign on.
Yeah. So now that you know the hauntings, you've pitched a movie. Final question. Would you go to this place of paranormal phenomena?
Definitely. I like
Pretty
wine. I like snackies. They had really good food trucks too, in addition to their festivities. I want to see, I actually don't want to see the child ghosts, but I would like the knock on my bathroom stall as long as it's polite, just so I can say I experienced it. Yeah, I'm in. What about you, Matt?
In the wise words of the Ghostbusters theme song, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. So yeah, I'm down.
What about you, David?
I'm horrified. Would never go.
Oh my god.
I would definitely go. I'd go to try the wine, try snackies, as was stated, and maybe see some paranormal phenomena. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to go back now that I know that it's haunted. They also have good wine. Like, I really like their specialty wines. They have an apple wine that actually, shout out Twice the Terror. They brought a bottle of the apple wine to our wrap party for us. Very good. They have a holiday spiced wine that's very good at the winery. And I think it would be cool to do a paranormal investigation there. From what I saw on their website, they're not really open to that, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't be.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna get wine drunk and fist fight a ghost in the bathroom.
Matt, it's a child. You can't fist fight a child, even if
afraid
it's
to
a
hit a kid.
ghost. Matt.
Well, there might be other spirits. You never know. Like a revolutionary soldier, you could pick a fight with.
Yeah, that's fair.
Matt's going to be hammered sitting at the bar there, hear a gunshot and go, that is a black powder rifle.
Yes. And then everyone's going to be like, absolutely not. You're drunk. Go home.
Yeah. Except
Never.
us. We'll be like, we like run off with the EMF reader.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Again, their episodes drop on Wednesday. Let the people know where they can find you.
We're everywhere. We got that whole RSS feed thing. So you get Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon. Tell Alexa, listen to Horror Hour with the Hannas, and she'll play it
That's
for
what we
you.
do for my mom because she doesn't know how to pull it up on her phone.
Yeah, we're on the YouTubes. We make shorts. We got a TikTok. What's our TikTok?
Horror Hour with the Hannas.
Yeah, that's the big one. We got Instagram.
Horror Hour with the Hannas.
And Twitter, but Twitter or X, it sucks. Don't go on there, but it's Horror
Why
Hour
would you say
Hanna.
it then?
I don't know,
All
because
right.
we were on there.
Sounds
Facebook.
good.
no,
I know
listen.
Facebook because my grandma follows you on Facebook. So
I haven't
Shout out
posted
Grandma.
on there for like 2 weeks or a month. But
Does she listen to these episodes?
yeah,
Love you, Grandma.
she listens to the episodes. She doesn't even
Shit.
like horror movies.
Good. I
I
should
love
shout her
Grandma.
out. Give us her name. We'll give her a
I know her name.
Love you, Grandma. We'll shout it out.
I'll shout her out.
That'd be so funny.
She loves me from our history together.
True.
Hey, Grandma.
You have a history.
We do.
Thank you guys so much for coming on, and we were on theirs, so go check theirs out. We talked about different horror movies and hauntings on set. We are real life friends, so we'll definitely be doing more haunting and investigating together, so you'll see them on more episodes coming up, but stay spooky, my friends.